everybody. Welcome to Bitch Sesh. Wow, what a week. Guys, we're all doing the best we can. We're all doing, in the words of June Diane Raphael, our best. It's not good enough, but it's gotta be for now. I hope everyone is healthy and safe. And, you know, again, we know these are tough times and dark times, but we are trying to give a little bit of light. So we do all this not to dismiss anything that's happening in the real world, but just you know, have a few laughs while we're all kind of in the middle of this. But and good news and bad news, Casey cannot be here this morning. Sadly, I know she was on our Instagram live last night, but she cannot be here because she is in the middle of kid stuff. And guys, there's nobody. They don't listen now that they have us captured. Like they really are. They've got us exactly where they want us, and we have to do what they say, and that is tough. Luckily, my child has an iPad right now, so she could run in here at any minute, and I've bribed her. I've literally bribed her with a donut to not disturb this, which is not great parenting. But again, we've all got to do what we've got to do. But in great news, you guys, my co-host today is one of my favorite people, one of my favorite guests of all time, one of the funniest fucking human beings. And I say fucking because it's true. I love him so much. It's been a while. We've been trying to get him, but he's on like 12 podcasts that are very successful. Please welcome to the stage, I want to say, the stage that is set before us, Bryan Safi.
I am so thrilled to be here, Danielle. You're right. This has been in the works, and now it's like finally happening.
I know, because it's been a while since, like, I think the spring when we did that sort of live show where you came on and we talked about it.
That's right. At UCB. I remember. Yeah.
Yes. How are you? I just want to check in because I haven't seen you since. How are you?
I am well. I don't, saying to you earlier, I don't really have anyone to take care of but myself, which I live with my boyfriend, but we're pretty autonomous. So I don't have any.
You don't have to take care of it.
I'm not bribing anyone with donuts right now, which
lucky man.
I wish someone were bribing me with donuts, frankly.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Look, it's not a great look on me. It's not a great look on any of us.
I can't imagine though. Like I can't, hats off, because that's tough. That's tough.
I would like to say that your boyfriend and you live together. You're like, I'm not taking care of him. Like if even no matter what happens, you're like, I won't take care of you. You're on your own, buddy.
When we heard about what was going on in China, I drew up a contract and I said, under these, we've divided the fridge. We are not taking
6 feet distance between
correct.
You two?
The contract said, all it said was we are not taking care of each other.
Wow. You've really stuck to it. I see him in the background. He does not.
He does.
He looks as if he's hurt his leg.
That's right. He does. And he's facing the corner like Blair Witch. So,
and he seems like he's going to go out in the same way.
He keeps threatening to jump off the balcony.
Maybe you should take care of. Can you?
I think you know what? You've changed my mind.
The contract. Can we just today? Can we get past it?
I mean, as the news gets worse, the contract is less and less binding.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. Good to know.
No, but I'm well. I'm lucky to be well, and everyone really very close to me is doing okay. It is crazy though. The more this happens. I mean, you were starting to know, I'm starting to know people in my life who have it.
Oh,
and it's
me
wild.
too.
Yeah.
Me too. It's so scary. It's so frightening. It's so, I mean, we've been in our house for weeks.
Yeah.
For weeks.
Yeah.
And just at the tip of this, we were like, let's stay in. And my daughter had a cold, so we just kind of stayed in.
Yeah.
Which ended up serving us, I think, for now, again, who knows what the future holds, but right now we're okay. And better news though, where do I even start? Casey and I did an Instagram live last night.
Okay.
I don't know if you know this. Just to talk New York premiere because beautiful. And you and I will get into it in a minute.
Yeah.
But what a gift. Andy Cohen came on the Instagram live.
You're kidding.
No. And now here's the thing. Casey and I are not tech savvy. We are both grandmothers to the hilt.
Right there with you.
So I feel for our audience, and they have to watch Casey and I's struggles with the technology that we are dealing with at this moment. And so we did not know how to get Andy on at the same time as having me on. So I took one for the team and I got off our Instagram live to let Andy come on.
Wow.
I know what you're saying. Hero. You're saying hero.
I am.
I lived up to it.
Honestly, you made a sacrifice. For
yes,
sure.
We're all making sacrifices in these times. And
for the
that
effort.
was mine. And it was tough. I'm not going to lie. But I rose to the occasion so quickly. Like when they're like, Casey was like, I don't think, and Casey was hosting, so she couldn't get on.
Right.
So she was like, I don't know what to do, Danielle. I don't know how to get him on. And she was like, I think you need to get off. I did not hesitate. I literally was like, bye.
Yeah.
And like got off.
Well, that is how all major decisions are made. It's a gut feeling. It's a split second.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
It's the difference between, it's a sliding door. It's a life or death decision. And you make the right decision for you at the time. And I believe in my heart I did. And I believe I am a hero.
And Danielle,
and
I know you as
people will speak my name.
A competent, brilliant woman.
Yes,
and the hysterical woman. And so I'm hoping you weren't like blowing up the comments like crazy, like, ha ha ha, are you guys having fun? I love this. You guys are so, you know what I mean? Okay.
Look, we can't be perfect.
I would have.
When you're in battle, even if you're a hero, do you make mistakes? Sure. Do people fall? Sure. Are you not always at your best? Do we have to make other decisions that don't put us in the best light? Of course. Was I blowing up that like, hey, everybody miss me?
Yeah. I absolutely
Do you see what you're missing? Can I get back in? Ding dong, I'm here. Like, it was not the best look.
Fair enough. I would have done the same thing. But wow, what a guess.
What a guest. What a surprise. What a love. He's a great man. He's recovering well. He's doing great. It was so kind of him. He gave us some tidbits about the New York season. It was a real...
what was your favorite tidbit?
What did he say? Oh, we were saying about Leah, who is the gift.
Brilliant.
And again, we'll get into what a entrance. You know, what an entrance.
Even honestly, I hadn't heard their taglines yet, but from the jump when she says, I float like a butterfly, sting like a bitch, I literally LOL. Because all the other ones are so terrible this year, but hers was so good.
So good. So beautiful. Beautiful. But Casey said on the Instagram Live last night that she worried that, we know that this woman hadn't drank for 12 years or something of that number, and then was like, and I just started again. Yeah.
Roll the cameras. Yeah,
roll and hit play. Record.
Yep.
And so Andy, Casey's like, I'm worried she's going to drink again. And Andy's like, yeah, I don't think you're wrong. So it's not great, but it does make for good television.
It does make for good television. And I have to say, Danielle, can we get into Leah?
Okay,
wait, you tell me.
Okay, let's take a break and then come back and do New York.
You got it.
Okay. And we're back. Now, I mean, I just can't even wait.
I was so scared at the beginning of this that like my tensions were relieved for me, and that like I finally saw that this was not going to be like a season 4 where Bethany left. This is going to be.
It's tough.
Yeah.
Because we were all nervous. And that is what first of all, Bethany is doing the Lord's work. We need Bethany's power and work elsewhere right now.
Correct.
And she is doing it. She is better than our government. She is getting masks. She is getting to people. And I said this last night because she comes from a place of yes.
She certainly does.
And when she runs, and she will run for office, I will stump for her because I know she gets shit done.
And like many politicians, she is not nice to a person. She is nice to the masses. That how she can deal with this.
Need. Yeah. Exactly. And I do believe she has a heart, unlike I believe the administration now has zero heart, zero empathy. Though Bethany doesn't have some great relationships in her life, I do believe her heart is strong and full, and she cares about people. She can't necessarily care about an individual, but she cares about people. I believe that.
She can't have friends, but she can have admirers, and she can have people who...
She cares about them.
Yes, she does. Because, I think part of it is a little bit, and it is selfish for the right reasons, just in terms of like any doing good does. It's good for the person who's getting the good and also good for the person who's doing the good, but it makes her feel great.
Yes.
Yeah. Exactly. She likes being appreciated in that way.
Yes. Oh, for sure.
Yeah. But at least it's for good.
Yes. Oh, it's all for good. And so again, I will vote for her.
Yeah.
And she will run for office. I will again, I don't know if this is me announcing her campaign. Possibly.
You know what? I think she would take Trump down in a debate. No one can still no one can go against Bethany.
No, you can't get a word in. It's great. None of us can. He thinks he's got like cut downs and stuff. He has not come up against Bethany Frankel.
No one has. He can't do it.
But you're right. I was worried. I do think we recovered. That season 4 without Bethany was a tough one. And then we bounced back because we got like Dorinda and, like we bounced back.
Yes.
But I was worried. And then to start off with basically a retrospective of Bethany. Like, I mean, we've never gotten that for any other fallen housewife.
No. It literally was like, it truly was like Bethany starting off this episode, guys.
Yes, yes. I was like, oh, is she like, and then them all reacting to the news of her leaving because we've never had a person leave the franchise on their own volition.
Who was your favorite reaction?
Ramona. She's like, who cares?
Yeah, I know. And at one point she like snorted. She was like, are we really going to talk about that? Like she was,
yeah, she's the worst.
They all clearly dislike Bethany. Like even Sonia was like, she could have texted. I don't care. Whatever.
Yeah, she's. Oh my God. So, and it was, I do like how they broke the fourth wall like that. We don't see a lot of like referring to the show on the show. So
yes.
I thought that was sort of magical. Like we were getting a behind the scenes look and I really appreciate it. Very dramatic. So it was like from the jump, we know we're in for something good.
And Luann was just rehearsed, ready to go with her lines, going in for the kill. She's the ultimate performer.
If I ever have to hear one more analogy from Miss Luann de Lesseps about the world being a stage and the performer and cabaret, if I have to hear one more of those, I will off her and then myself. Especially
also because right when she finishes saying that stuff, she always gives a look for too long that's like, get it? She's like,
yeah, oh yeah.
She's like, yeah, we get it because you literally told us the whole thing. Your whole analogy was about theater.
My favorite, and for us to start off with her walking out of the courthouse.
I know. Be
like, the nightmare is over.
Yeah. She was like, I was under probation for 2 years. And it was like, hey, that's not really that long, really.
And also, you broke it like 5 times. Like, you were never not drinking, as far as we know. Like, that's the stuff we know about.
I know.
Who knows what we don't know about? And then when she literally said, I'm so relieved. Like, for the past 2 years, I just haven't been here mentally. And I'm like,
drunk.
Because you weren't drinking. I love how she's like, I'm just not in my right mind when I'm not drinking.
Yeah. For the past 2 years, I really haven't been myself. I've had to think about that. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense.
I've had to just like deal with life and reality. And that's just not when I'm at my best. And now I can finally be present in alcohol.
In my head, Sonia tried to give her a hug before they left the courthouse. And Luann was like, can you save it till the cameras are here? Thanks.
Yes, save it for...
Hug me outside.
When they go to that sweet little guy in the coffee cart and he's just like, I thought you were already finished. He's like, no. Like,
so good.
My
so
Luann.
Good. I know.
And then they go to the park and they talk about her and Luann, Sonia and Luann talk about their relationship. And then they hug each other and Sonia takes a big bite of a sandwich as they...
She doesn't get the bite fully in her mouth. It's just like dribbling down Luann's back. And it was also just like, why are you guys... So you went to the courthouse, hugged her, and then after that you were like, we need to talk about whether we're friends or not and what you've done to me.
Yes.
So great.
She was like, I really need to talk about how you treat... Like, all of these women, they're always like, okay, enough about you. Back to me.
Exactly.
Like, what about me?
And I love that a hot dog cart came into play later during Sonia's... break, where she was just like, no, I mean, I was unconscious and I fell on my head and then I was carrying that trash bag and then the man with the hot dog cart. And you're like, what is this story?
Well, that's another thing. Speaking of Sonia, Andy told us last night that Sonia is not in the city right now, that basically she was on some sort of retreat. And when the corona struck.
Yeah.
And now she is still on this, like, she's stuck in, I don't know, Arizona in the desert somewhere. And that she hasn't had solid food, she said on like her Instagram, in like 2 weeks.
Oh my God. That's so great.
Oh, I just think that's so important. That's so perfect.
I honestly felt like you were going to say, Sonia is on a boat in Colombia again. And she can't get
Nothing
off
would
it.
surprise me. Nothing would surprise me. But the fact that she hasn't had like a solid meal, or obviously, and I'm sure not a solid BM in weeks.
Oh, no, definitely not. Definitely
When
not.
she was in her apartment, she's like, I've been farting.
Yeah.
So
She was like, and Ramona was like, well, don't put gas on me. Or she had some weird response to that.
so strange. Now, can we talk about Leah? Let's talk about Leah.
She came in. I'm telling you, there are only a few housewives who have this power to come in late in the game. I mean, they're on what season? Is it season 11?
12.
12.
I think it's 12.
Yeah. And immediately did what Shannon was able to do when she came on and what Dorinda was able to do when she came on. And she just, and I think it's because she's really being herself. She seems to be.
Yes.
She
completely.
Is perfection. Perfection.
She gave me a lightning bolt when I came. I was like, this person is exciting to watch.
Yep.
She's beautiful and also horrifying.
Horrifying.
It seems to be a very close relationship with her daughter. Healthy, unhealthy, unclear.
Yeah, I'll go with unhealthy. I think whenever the first thing you say is like, my 12-year-old daughter's my best friend, like that, you're headed for postcards from the edge. Like that's.
Do I think that that's my dream? Of course.
Yes, well, sure. I guess as a mother, I guess it probably would be.
But is it a healthy thing? No, no. We've seen so many examples of it not being. But is it my ultimate goal? Of course.
Sure.
Now, she's also boxing in a gym with a man who I think is just Vincent D'Onofrio in a character.
Absolutely Vincent D'Onofrio, or the guy in Ghost who's on the subway who starts screaming at Patrick Swayze, that like really taunting man. He was he looked out of Pan's Labyrinth. Like he did not look like a person.
He did not look real. That's why I was like, this is Vincent D'Onofrio in a lot of like trying on a character for the next Law and Order season or something. Like
it was absolutely, yes.
I was like, I don't know what I'm seeing. We couldn't get his whole face and body on camera.
No.
Like they never settled on him.
Because I'm sure the cameras were like, you can't shoot him straight on because it's way too scary.
Yeah, like it was, I mean, obviously he's been punched a lot and he was as big as a truck. And I was like, he does not fit on screen. He's just like a meat bag.
Yeah. Total meat bag and just like skin in places where there shouldn't be or something. It was like too much skin, too much.
And
too
a voice
lips.
that sounded out of Silence of the Lambs, like it puts the lotion in the basket. I was
just completely. And just in there with these women and then just like bellowing like, I did love this though. His best lines were when Tinsley was talking about focusing on herself, and he was like, "Nobody gives a fuck. Nobody gives a fuck.
I don't care.
Hit me as hard as you can."
If that man said that to me, I would cry. I don't care about you. So terrifying.
He did. He sounded like a garbage disposal. He was so scary, mixed with an ashtray. Horrifying.
The scariest person I've ever seen on screen.
I know. I can't believe he has a boxing gym on like the Upper East Side and that these women are going to him.
Of course they are. It makes all the sense in the world to me. Now, when Tinsley revealed that who's Bruce?
No idea. No idea.
Wait, what?
It has to be Scott.
Well, but she's now engaged to Scott
now
in real time.
Yes, but
so
I think the whole time
someone...
she was seeing Bruce and just saying that it was Bruce, but it was really Scott.
Bruce's twin brother?
I don't know who Bruce is.
Casey literally texted me in the middle and she was like, who's Bruce? I'm like, I don't know.
But then when she said she didn't like the name, I thought of all the Bruces I do like Bruce Wayne from Batman, Bruce Springsteen.
Bruce Lee.
Bruce
I have a very Jenner? Or no, Caitlyn Jenner. But before Bruce.
Yes, there are a lot of nice Bruces.
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton. But also when she was like, and I love kids and I talk to them like dogs.
I know. And why did she fly to China to get strawberry and shortcake?
Good question. Maybe they were in peril?
Oh, maybe.
In China? I don't know. Tinsley is a mystery. When Dorinda says, I don't know you, I mean, part of me is like, what's to know?
I think there's not much there.
It's not a deep pool.
My favorite was Tinsley the one who broke her rib? Who broke the rib?
That was Dorinda.
Oh, that's right. Because my favorite line of the night was the beginning of a line. And she goes, the thing I realized after breaking my rib, which like is just so what?
In a drunken fall.
Question.
Come on.
No question.
No question. So the thing I read when I broke my rib, like just That's not okay.
Yeah.
Some things are not right.
No.
Dorinda.
No.
But anyway, so we got Leah, we got her daughter, we got her situation with, I mean, it was great. And then we get to see Dorinda and her John.
Yeah, whose John is looking like trim.
Yes, I thought he looked great.
Me too.
She hates him.
She does hate him.
Fully. She let him burn his hands.
And then laughed about it. And was like, I'm a dog and he's a cat. Whatever that analogy. I don't know anything about cats burning their hands off.
I don't even know what that means.
I've never heard that.
Any of that. It's like, no, you hate him and he loves you. That's what it is. To see a man about to grab a burning pan and just watch him do it.
And he loves you because you hate him, and you hate him because he loves you.
It is a cycle that is... It's an infinity cycle that you cannot break.
Do you think, remember when she said that she would never let him spend the night at her house? Do you think that she's held that rule up?
For sure.
Oh, definitely.
She's like 10 p.m. TikTok, go.
No doubt
She's
about
like,
it.
make your lasagna and get the fuck out.
Yep.
She's like, eat my puss, get the fuck out.
Eat my puss, I'll punch you in the face and get the fuck
and get the fuck out.
Yeah, and go here's some trousers for you to go dry clean and get out of here.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
And steal me something from the collection.
I hope that at some point they got super drunk and she just dumped the lasagna all over her clothes and was like, fix this. Get these out.
Get this stain out, Madame Paulette.
Exactly. Exactly. I do have a question about Leah.
Okay.
I feel like there is potential. Obviously, she can't be Bethany because she's just not that personality type. But I do feel like there is going to be a Greek chorus element to her because, at least in some of the previews to come and stuff, she's so stunned by, or in the fight with Tinsley and Dorinda, she's so genuinely stunned by it and laughing at it.
She is shocked by it. And also, I don't know that she knows what's going on in the world of housewives in the sense that, she was like, what's Giovanni?
She had to look it up.
Yeah, she had to look it up. And some people thought that she was acting. I was like, no one's that good of an actress. She truly did
I don't think she knew at all. And I think, especially my favorite thing is how confused you must be to then look up Giovanni and be like, oh, it's a clothing line? So they're just talking about feeling a clothing line?
So good. It
was.
No, I think we have both sides of the coin with her because, as we know, she can pop off, as she did with a cop, as we learned later, and
who knocked her teeth out.
Knocked her teeth out, and then she started a clothing line with the money from the settlement.
Have you heard of this clothing line before?
Never. Mob?
Married to the Mob?
I mean, no, I've heard of that movie. It's an amazing movie.
It is an amazing movie.
But I've never heard of that
one. But she acted like so many of these people do. She was like, and then I started the clothing line. And it's like...
And everyone's like...
We don't know what it is.
Do people... I'm curious for our listeners to tell us. Do you know of Mob? Is it just a very chic, expensive thing that I just can't afford? Or is it some sort of New York-centric? Or is it what's her name from New Jersey? Margaret from New Jersey. She seems to have a line where I'm like, I don't know what this is.
This is a mystery.
Purses and plastic shoes and scunchies. It's a weird. So I'm just curious where it lands in the Housewives products world. Now, can we talk about Ramona?
Yeah.
She's such a dichotomy.
Please.
No, you go.
I was just going to say, and I'm sure we say this every season, she looks incredible.
Someone did mention last night, though, that she looks as if when she walks that she's wearing a breastplate.
She does. You're right. She does. It does seem like there is she's on the front lines of a Trojan War. But
yeah, there's her breasts seem very tough.
She is.
And protective.
Very tough and very protective. And that guy at the party?
Oh, now I think she definitely had sex with him.
Oh,
do you?
For
sure. He seems
especially with the way that she walked in and didn't say anything to him, really. Got out of there. It was oh, she didn't want the cameras to know that this was someone in her life.
Yes, so that is someone she has definitely had sex with. I believe that. But when she does that, I want to say monologue with her friends at that weird bar on the Upper East Side with all the ladies, when she says, I just want to wake up with someone at night. I wake up every morning and I look to my right and I don't have anybody there except for the dog. But
Yeah.
and then she like goes off into Ramona world. But it was so sad.
It was the most I've ever felt for her. Truly.
Me too.
Yeah.
Though people did point out that not a tear was shed. I mean, she cried, but I didn't see any wetness from her face.
No wetness. And also, like, what was so stunning and visceral about it was I don't think she was even intoxicated.
No.
It seemed like she was maybe a sip in. You know what I mean? Just like
one Ramona Pinot Grigio in.
And that was it. And then she just lost it. And I have to say, I did feel for her. My tears were also a little dry, and I resented her a little bit in that moment because I was just like, why do you think, Ramona? Why do you think you're very attractive? You're very successful, I think. Mm-hmm. I still don't know, but I think.
Unclear. True Religion, jewelry, the new fate, whatever.
Yes.
They're all businesses.
Whatever is happening. Her face is a business. Whatever is happening. Mm-hmm. She's running her body. But yes. I just, for sure. But it was also just sort of like, why? Like the call is coming from inside the house a little bit. Like, why do you think no one wants to wake up next to you?
Because you're a miserable, terrible person. She's a terrible person.
She really...
I'm terrified of her.
Oh,
when she
too.
Cries, I was like, oh, I'm scared.
Because she seemed out of control. But you're right, no tears.
No tears. And yet all like emotion, like maybe she can't cry. Have we ever seen her shed a real tear?
I don't think so. And I have a question. Was she sort of light in this episode last night? I'm trying to remember like what her big moments were. She went over to Sonia's.
She went over to Sonia's, that apartment that Sonia's, that makes me, I don't know which is sadder, the tiny, looking like a efficiency dorm room.
I know.
That Sonia's in now, or the Grey Gardens of a mansion in the city. They're both.
It's the same but different. And also just that she said like, and this is obviously pre-pandemic, but she was like, I just haven't left the house in forever. And that's why Marley's so horny. And that's, you know what I mean? And that's why Coco's getting rammed right now.
Oh, it's the hard thing to watch.
He's like, he doesn't get out. He doesn't get out.
These two old biddies wandering this apartment with two dogs like fucking and
gassy and like, yeah, it
was tough.
It was tough. It was tough for sure.
I did think during the episode, and I know I've said this before, but like the themes came really hitting me hard as a woman who's, of age. I just thought like this is an entire series about women aging.
Yeah.
And it's it's not easy.
It's about crossing over.
It's about crossing over.
You know what I also loved about Sonia? And just was like, you are truly the most. And this was a sincere moment for her, but she was like, my daughter's left for college and da-da-da-da. And Ramona's like, didn't she go to boarding school for her entire life? And so just like,
but this is different.
Because before she used to sleep on the couch with friends. And it's like, she was never home, A.
I know.
And B, now that she's gone, you're also like, well, and no, I'm not going to talk to her. That's what the doctors say.
The doctors say it's best if we don't.
Yeah.
I will say also that I think I just pictured like all of her daughter and her friends going to this place, sleeping on the couches and being like, her mom does not give a fuck. And her mom will try and fuck you.
Completely.
So just like get in and get out. Like we just need a place to crash. Like we can drink, we can do drugs. None of it matters.
Also,
we can party all night.
She proved it at the end of the night, but she was like, oh, one of my best friends, Ramona, is sleeping with this guy. I'm going to talk to him and I'm going to get him. And Leah just straight up calls him a fuckboy, basically.
Yeah. Yes.
So
she's
smart.
Like, I know. Again, I love it. She's like, you're a fuckboy.
Yeah.
He was like, okay.
She does have a vacancy in her eyes that's a little bit alarming, Leah. Like you are just a little bit like, you could maybe kill somebody.
She's a little bit Cameron from Dallas.
Totally.
There's a bit of Cameron. Someone said there's also a bit of Dana from Vanderpump. Like there's a lot of looks going on. Another Ramona thing that really made me laugh last night was when she repeated a few times, like, I love Jingle Ball.
What does that mean?
I love Jingle Ball.
I love Jingle Ball.
It's like some like concert that I guess is in, like New York and California. It's like iHeartRadio or like K-Rock or something. And it's just like, and she's like, you're just going, someone was like, you're going to go off and just go to Jingle Ball. She's like, I love Jingle Ball.
I love Jingle Ball.
Jingle Ball.
I love Jingle Ball. Yeah, she did. She insisted.
So then we go to the party.
Yeah.
the ending party.
I wish I could remember what that burnt magic or something. What was it called?
Yeah, it was so, I don't even know.
The black hole.
Now, we do get to see Dorinda in, I think, a very smart cut on her. That sort of shorter blonde cut.
She looks great. And I mean this is a compliment truly, but she had like a David Bowie kind of, which was great. It looked fantastic.
Loved it.
Yeah.
But she starts to get wasted immediately. Like, doesn't take a second to get all in.
And you know what? I don't enjoy her when there's something about her that I like when she shuts people down when she's sober. I don't like how she fights when she's drunk. It's so terrible.
Messy.
And also her and Tinsley fighting is simply annoying.
Yeah, well, a lot of people were saying it just felt like, why attack Tinsley? Attacking Tinsley is like attacking nobody.
Why? Why do you even care about her? Like, truly, why? Who cares about Tinsley? Really?
I know, it was a stupid fight. Did we get some good remarks out of Dorinda saying like, at least I don't get on my, when she goes to leave and she trips because she's wasted, and then Tinsley calls her out on it, and she's like, at least my shoes I paid for by myself. I didn't get on my back for that. I was like, whoa.
And also,
you're throwing a party.
You're throwing a party, and also the second she tripped, you could even sense, even though we were just seeing Dorinda's back, that she knew that was a problem. Mm-hmm. She was like, oh, fuck. Mm-hmm. And then Tinsley jumped on it, and Dorinda was like, oh God, Achilles heel. She found a weak spot. And then just like went hard, calling her a whore, basically. And also, doesn't Tinsley, when I say she has her own money, but doesn't she have her own trust?
Family money, yes. By her own money, you mean Dale.
Exactly.
Money.
Like,
yes.
Dale. But she's not having sex with Scott to get shoes.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they have probably a strange relationship with the Coupon King no matter what, but like not any stranger than a lot of relationships we've seen on the show, including Dorinda's and John.
Yes.
So now another favorite moment from that party was when Ramona walks in. She sees all the women talking. She sees them, and then she just simply turns the other way.
Why do you think she did that?
Andy said something last night about how like she saw the camera, she saw the new girl, and then she just made a decision like, I'm not doing that right now. I'm gonna go this way.
That was my hunch, was that it was the new girl. That it was just like how Vicky operates too, where she just was like, I need to be the center of attention. When I meet the new girl, I need the new girl to come to me. I'm not going to the new girl. Exactly.
And so that's what I think, and I think Andy kind of alluded to, like, she just was like, I'm not doing that right now.
I love how transparent Ramona is. Oh, it's great. Because there's no guessing with her. Even when she doesn't say a word, you know exactly what's going on.
No, because there's no inner monologue.
No. You're right.
It's all on her face. It's all like, it's just, it is what it is.
It is that thing.
Can't keep it inside.
No, and it's the mark of a true psychopath or sociopath is when they don't, people always say about Trump and other people, they say what they think. And it's like, that's crazy. Do you know what I mean? Because saying what you think can sometimes be like, can you imagine if I just said to my boyfriend, whatever, anytime, I hate that fucking shirt.
We can't just, because we all think things that at any given moment are cruel and not true.
Totally.
And insane.
Yeah.
And that's why we have an inner monologue, so that you don't kill, ruin relationships. And
it's part of the code of society.
And it's like they live outside of that code.
Completely.
For sure.
Completely.
And then we were gifted with Dorinda stopping a party, mid-party, and just being like, guys, I have a surprise you've all been waiting for. And everyone's like, who is? I literally thought, I was like, is it Bethany?
I know.
Was my
And then I was thinking, it's either Bethany or it's Kelly Kaloran. I was like, it has to be an all-star. And then it was Chelsea Piers, which
it was fine. But we've seen drag queens on the show before. She made an announcement as if Lady Gaga or someone, and again, maybe that is a star. I just don't know of her. So I was just like, what's happening? And then the minute she started to play Luann's song, Luann never comes alive more than when her own music is, and I say music with quotations, but when her own songs are playing, you never see her come to life in that way, where she's just like, yeah, Phil and Giovanni.
She loves it. And also, I feel like if you were ever in a bad way with Luann, all you'd have to do is just start humming one of her songs, and she'd be like, hey, baby, yeah!
I know.
So into it.
She just lights up. So crazy. And then
everyone was truly dancing their asses off to that song.
so strange. Even Ramona, who is tough to watch her dad.
Yes.
But then we get treated to Luann and the new girl, and all of a sudden Leah, and she's like, "Well, I've been arrested." And Leah's like, "Me too." Like, what a story.
For attacking an officer, you got it.
Yeah, like, "Oh, me too." She's like, "Oh, I attacked an officer." She's like, "Me too." Like, it was great.
By the way, Leah's story to me, she does seem like an honest person, but there seemed to be a lot of detail missing in whatever happened with that police officer.
She threw a water at like I couldn't even follow it. So she was with her boyfriend on the street.
And they were kissing, and for no reason, this cop went up and started beating him up or something?
Yeah, I don't know what that was. It just seemed strange. And then she threw a water bottle. He smashed her face into the ground.
Twice.
And now we have Mob. That's the only, now we have Mob Wives clothing line. Like, that's the only story I know. But it's a wild ride.
I'd love to get more into that. I can't wait till the big reveal.
Yeah, I'd like more details. More than Chelsea Piers. I'd like the reveal of that story.
Also, poor Chelsea Piers, the track was off in the way they did it. Yes, she couldn't, and I think she knew the words, but like they did her no favors by the track that like was on the show was different than the one she was singing or was off.
Oh,
yeah,
that's tough.
And can you believe after 2 years, Dorinda's over Giovanni? The same time it took for Luann to get through probation.
We all get the time we need. It was like being in a probation. I mean, Jesus Christ, these women, they hold a grudge. And guess what? She's not over Giovanni.
No.
She ain't over
That's going to come up again.
Giovanni. Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Do you think they're going to survive? I mean, do you think that this season is going to weather Bethany not being there?
I have faith.
I do too, actually. And I didn't.
I have faith.
Yeah. And I did.
It started strong.
Yeah.
It started strong. So I feel like again, we came in strong. We came in with a winner. So we'll see what we have. But I have high hopes. I'm really excited.
I am too. And
it
was something that I didn't, like going in, I was like, I don't know how they're going to pull this off. They tried before. But then last night I was like, yeah, I think this is going to be good. I have hope too.
Yeah. All right. So should we take a break and talk Vanderpump Rules?
Yeah.
What's poppin', congregation? I'm Lacey Mosley, aka Scam Goddess and host of Scam Goddess, the podcast celebrating fraud and all those who practice it. Each week, I keep listeners up to date on current rackets, deep dives into the latest scams, and break down historic hoodwinks alongside some of your favorite comedians, honey. It's like true crime, but without all the death. True fun-ass crimes with only a little death. Episodes drop every Tuesday. Listen and subscribe on Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And remember, congregation, stay scheming.
All right, we're back with Vanderpump, but New York was exciting.
New York was very exciting.
We had no Atlanta this week because it was like a weird episode where they just showed us like scenes, like behind the scenes. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was strange, but again, glad to have what we get during these tough times.
Absolutely.
So let's talk.
Now, Danielle, this was my very first episode of Vanderpump Rules.
What?
I have maybe watched like parts of one before, and I never thought I would be interested in the antics of young punks. But I got to tell you, and I assumed that last night was probably just it didn't seem like a landmark episode as far as the whole series goes. I loved it.
Isn't it? That was us. We tried to watch it a few years ago. No one, we just couldn't get involved. Us too. We were like, these young punks. Meanwhile, they're basically our age, but they just act younger.
Yes.
Just don't have their shit together. Jax is 45.
Yeah.
Let's just get
By the way, the way he said with pride, I never thought I'd be 40 and still working at SUR. And he goes, and when you know it, I'm 40 and I'm still working at SUR. And he just loved it.
He will be there forever. But it is so good. And it is, and you don't need to know the players to know the game. You know these players even when you've never seen them before.
It's impossible to know them because aren't there like a couple dozen at this point?
Well, now and then yes, and there's some new young ones that I don't quite care about yet. But I will say, the most upsetting moment there were two most upsetting moments of the whole evening of Vanderpump, and one happened from a Dear Housewife, Miss Lisa Vanderpump jacking her horse off.
That was truly, and then how she caps it off by saying, if that's wrong, I don't want to be right. Disgusting. It was
I'm
great.
sorry.
That scene was so many levels of disgusting. Like, first, that she speaks French to her horse was nauseating. Second,
Nauseous, nauseous.
that 1917 World War I helmet she wore to ride a horse was twice as big as anything I've ever seen. It was like
This
true,
is
like trench warfare. Crazy.
And then look, I know she calls her dogs lover, sweetie, sexy, but I am truly afraid for the animals now. Like I thought it was not right.
It
Not
was a
right.
step too far. It was a step.
It's-
Like, we've all maybe thought that whatever those swans' names were being
yeah, hanky
mistreated
and
in a sexy
panky.
way. There you go. There you go. I don't know
Right?
what's going on at that house, but I do know that for her, listen, if she's bold enough to go on trying to arouse a horse,
If she's showing her jacking off a horse,
yep,
this is not her first time at the whacking off an animal rodeo.
no.
You know what I'm saying?
Equus to her
this
was inspiring.
Yes,
It was
exactly.
not
In
a,
fact, Equus learned what it learned from her.
That's true.
Like this was
That's true. That was dark.
so dark. I did not care for that
No.
moment.
Although it's a beautiful horse, I do have to say.
Of course, no one's saying, but I see a lot of beautiful animals in the world. I don't take the dinglings in my hand.
You're right. You're very
What
right.
has nothing to do with the other?
Ew.
Do not excuse the behavior by saying it's an attractive horse.
Mm-mm.
Not okay.
I'm afraid that she might be the type who puts like peanut butter on her feet and then calls the dogs. I mean, I hope not.
Okay. Now there's that guy Brett who's new, the guy who has the YouTube channel.
But I have not heard YouTube mentioned so much since like 2002 or whatever, 2005. He was like, I have a YouTube channel. Do you know about that? So anyway, YouTube comes over. There's a YouTube career. I mean, it was just like crazy. We were like, we know what it is.
That person, Brett, there's no one who looks are wasted on more than that. Like his personality makes his look so ugly. Don't you think? Because like he's chiseled in all these quote unquote right ways, but I'm so unattractive.
So unattractive. And also his skin tone is different in different scenes. And it might be makeup, but it might just be like he's drying out. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It just seems like he's constantly in a state of like being hungover or being drunk.
Oh, they all
yeah,
are.
I guess
they all are all the time.
Yeah.
And then the other upsetting thing is like, okay, fine. He has a YouTube channel with like 80,000, according to him,
right,
viewers. But I get it if you're there for workout tips, sure. But you're watching his interview skills? Like, what?
I have to tell you, his interview skills were so shocking. The other shocking thing in that scene was Sheena's angles. The way that she fully just faced him and like looked out the corner of her eye with like, I don't know, just one eye showing basically. And she was just like, I just want to get a good angle. And that angle was 10 feet away from him, completely profile, staring at the side of his face. Like ABBA.
ABBA angles. She had total ABBA angles.
Did. It was totally bad. But and then calling her middle-aged. He's such a doofus.
But that said, is there anyone sadder on reality TV than Miss Sheena Shea?
There isn't.
When she is saying to him, like, look, he's so mean to her, that guy. And then he's like, look, I just want to be friends with you. And she's like, we'll see.
Yeah. And he's like, no, but there's like absolutely no way in the future. I think you're disgusting. So we'll be friends. And I just want to call you like a guy and be like, hey, Sheena, this girl I fucked. Like, he's so disgusting. And she's like, yeah, but it'll change.
Yeah. Like that girl, it's so dark.
How did it get that way? I mean, how does that happen to a person where like, that's good enough for you? Do you know what I mean?
There's something very broken within her.
And it's clearly not his personality she's attracted to. Who could be?
No.
He calls her middle-aged. And it's just that that's what makes me mad about Sheena. It's just like, so you just think he's hot. And so you're willing to just be humiliated through this?
I know. It's so gross. And again, I am a middle-aged woman. So nothing wrong with that. Again, I'm living the life of a gorgeous middle-aged woman.
Absolutely. But he was deliberately saying it to be demeaning.
Yes,
yeah.
Mean. And then she was like, you asshole, but I'll fuck you right now. Like it's just so dark. I hate him. I hate him so much.
Yeah, he's truly, truly awful.
Can we talk about Lala and
Raquel?
Raquel.
Yeah. Lala
Yes.
is way too, and listen, again, this is my first time watching this show, but to me, it's sort of like, look, you are actually not a Ramona. You to me don't deserve to have the ring kissed yet.
No, and here's the thing. Raquel, who has always seemed like a meek little mouse that sort of talks like a shaky baby.
Yes, like a shaky baby. She does.
She does. She showed up last night.
And
she showed up, and to put Lala in her, and Lala knew it.
Yeah.
Lala knew it, and Lala looked afraid.
Lala could not stand still during that fight, kept going to the fridge, kept walking around her, flipping her hair, doing this thing. Raquel just stood. It reminds me of actually when Bethany and Kelly confront each other at that bar in season 2, and Bethany's just staring at her being like, I'm perfectly fine. Why are you acting like, you know what I mean? Raquel had the power move, which is to stay cool, calm, and collected, and to really not even blink at that person. She was incredible. Like, I have so much respect for her now. Like, she showed herself. Yep.
She really showed. And I was like, oh, you know what? She came for the queen and she didn't miss.
She did not.
In fact, Raquel, like you said, was moving like a caged tiger.
Completely.
And I was like impressed with Raquel. It was wow.
And Lala had to literally walk away and call herself a winner because she knew that wasn't the case.
No, she knew.
Raquel is listen,
someone to watch.
She's one to watch. Absolutely.
One to watch.
She's one to watch. Do you think any of these people will ever graduate to housewives?
I don't think it's possible.
Yeah, I don't either.
Now, look, have some of them moved to the valley and live in all similar houses that are unfurnished? Yes, these are truthy, overly priced houses that they can't afford furniture in. So that would typically that is housewives territory. Yeah. But I think you can't move. I don't know how we move between worlds in that way. Maybe Brandi Glanville could, but I mean, that's how we were introduced to Vanderpump Rules is through Brandi
Sheena,
Glanville.
That's right.
Yes. So, and Lisa and all that stuff. But yeah, it was, I think they just age out, which is why they should not be spending those money on those houses, because I don't know what any of these people are going to do in the future.
How long the career. I have to say my other favorite line was when, I can't remember, someone was talking to Kristen about the fact that I think Stassi was talking to Kristen about the fact that she was the only one not invited to that wine party.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And Stassi, or whomever it was, said to console her, Lisa's not going to be there. She has a vagina.
Oh, I think it was, what's her name? Oh God, Brittany. Brittany's not, she's not. Oh my God.
Lisa's not going to be there. She has a vagina.
It's like, oh, thank you for that.
Also, I thought Tom Schwartz, is that his name?
Yes.
Going in, I was like, wow, he's definitely the cutest, because he doesn't seem like he's fucked with his face or anything like that. He just seems au natural. And again, not knowing anything about his personality. By the end of that episode, I was so disgusted and horrified.
I don't know how that couple comes back from him saying that stuff to Katie. Like, they have a tumultuous relationship anyway, but how do you come back from being like, I fucking hate you, I'm so unattracted to you.
What a turn off, you're disgusting.
Yeah. That's why I don't sleep with you anymore. Like, how does a married couple come back in public on television?
He has no regard for her or respect for her. And I don't know how you come back. That would have been
That's the end.
For me. That would have been it. Yeah.
That's over.
Because that's in front of people and in front of cameras, and like, who knows what the hell he's saying to her.
And I don't care how drunk you are, he felt that way. Oh. That wasn't the booze speaking. Those were true, real feelings. He was in his full voice and in his full body.
Oh, completely. Seemed even relaxed. And basically what he was saying was like, I hate your fucking guts. It was awful.
Yes. It was awful. Yeah. That was that prank. Look, I have said I like Randall, Lala's husband, just because he's a kind of a breath of fresh, but I hate like pranksters on movie sets. Like that whole like, oh, on Ocean's 11, we were just pranking each other. Like nothing makes
and they're also like
more grossed out than like
pranks. Like I remember reading something about like Julie Roberts and Mel Gibson did a movie like forever ago. And he was like, yeah, I pulled this great prank on Julia where I put a rat in her trailer. And it's like, that's like mean and horrible.
That's awful. It's not funny. It's awful. Like, so I hate when it's just like, old white men like being like, we're pranksters, we're hilarious, we're all George Clooney here. It's like on like these wealthy sets. Like I just like there's nothing that so Randall being like, oh, on every movie I do pranks. I'm the prank king. It's like, oh my God, so gross.
How many pranks did you pull on the set of Angels 22 or whatever the hell the name of your movies are?
Bullshit movie. Whatever disgusting movie that 50 Cent is angry with you over. Like, come on.
I know.
Like, it's just.
And then I was looking through his credits and he was a producer on Vice. And I was like, oh, wow. And then it said Vice. And then in parentheses, the straight to video Vice. And I was like, okay, got it. Okay. So we don't know what that is.
As a person, and I will say, as a person who has done straight to video content.
Sure. Me too.
I don't need to drop names, but Beverly Hills 202.
Fabulous.
Was not seen in the theaters. Right to video. You guys can get it now.
You know what, though? You weren't.
I didn't play one prank on that set because I'm a professional.
Exactly. We don't play pranks on sets.
No, we don't. Wow. But so I'm glad. Do you think you'll watch Vanderpump Rules
I
now?
actually think I will. I was really shocked that how much I liked it. Because there's just, like on Housewives, sometimes there are people to admire and respect. I was surprised here that most you don't, but there were a couple that you do. Like actually, I don't know the backstories of these people, but like Ariana and her to camera thing about saying how insensitive the police car thing was, I was like, oh, you get it on some level. Like you know what's up. Yeah. And but also there are enough people to absolutely despise, but you also feel like they're getting what's coming to them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it sort of feels like sweet justice, and it's a fun time. I enjoyed it. And also weirdly, Jack seemed like obviously ridiculous and the worst, but there was something strangely, and again, who knows if this is real, there was something strangely lovable about him and his
he's a star.
Yeah.
Look, he's a terrible person, but he is a reality star.
Yep.
He's a reality star.
And his wife or girlfriend,
take your eyes off him. Brittany, they just got married
she's
last
fantastic.
week. It took forever.
She's fantastic. Or seems
she
to
is
be.
a person. No, she is. Everybody loves her because she's like Southern.
Right.
It's like the princess wedding. But I think she's truly a terrible person.
Okay.
Like, I think people just think she's nice because she's like seems sweet and she's kind of like dumb.
Yeah.
But I think she's selfish and self-centered, as are the rest of them. But she just hides it a little more. And like, she's so sweet. Everybody's got to take care of her. But I hope you give it a try.
I think I will. And I have to say, like, back to the prank thing, probably the dumbest prank you could ever pull on. Like, zero creativity is toilet papering someone's house. That just is base level. It's just so stupid.
It's annoying.
It's
just annoying. Yeah. Before I go, I just wanted to say two things real quick. First of all, I just want to say, yes, I spoke about our Instagram Live. You can still it's up for like 24 hours on Casey's Instagram. So you can still catch that. So watch it. It's like you just press like her Instagram Live thing or like, you know, the little button at the top. Again, technology is not my forte.
I'm with you.
The other thing, Andy mentioned last night, the saddest news, and I don't want to bring everybody down, but we are living in a really scary time. Casey and I've always said that the editors are the true heroes of the Real Housewives shows. Like, no one is more talented. Is like, they really make the show. They just, like, I'm in awe of the talent that they bring. And one of the Real Housewives of New York's editors passed away from corona.
Oh, that's awful.
In the last few days. His name is Peter Gamba, and I just want to send love to him and his family. And I just want to thank him for his beautiful work. And I'm so sorry, and this is so sad. And again, I know we're going on bit of a roller coaster on these shows, but it's in these times, it is a roller coaster. But I just wanted to, I don't know, just dedicate this episode of Bitch Sesh to him. And we thank him, as we always say on the show, we thank you for your service, but we really do. Wow, it's so sad. And what a talent. And I'm just so sorry for his
That's really awful.
Family. But thank you, Bryan. Sorry, my transitions aren't great right now.
No one's are. This is how it's going. This is how we're living. Yeah.
I know. You are the funniest, warmest, smartest person.
I love you
Thank you so much for being. I love you, and stay safe. And I want to plug your hilarious podcast, Throwing Shade.
Yep.
Is the funniest fucking thing and so smart, and you guys deal with real topics, unlike us who just deal with bullshit.
I don't know. To me, they're legitimate topics. I go to you for my news.
And then also ask Rona and Brian.
Yes.
That you do with Jessica Chaffin, who's a bitch sesh person, and Rona and Bev and everything
Fabulous.
else. And that's a hilarious. Anything else you want to plug? Groceries?
We're doing a new episode next week, and then they come back in August. And then the only other thing is I have a really cool storyline on 911 right now, and the new episode will be out next Monday. And
That's
it's an
so
exciting one.
exciting.
Yeah. So that's on Fox.
Congratulations. All right.
I love you, Casey,
Thank
so
you
much.
so much.
And you're a bright spot in this dark world, truly.
Thank you. And thank you, everyone, for listening. And be safe. Stay inside. And we love you all. We'll talk to you next week.